Do you have these top 5 most rare and valuable Lincoln pennies worth a lot of big money that could make you rich? These pennies is both extremely rare and highly sought after. These 5 valuable coins that could be hiding in your change the next time you rummage through your spare change for laundry or your morning coffee. The rare and elusive 1973 SMS Lincoln Penny with errors that have stunned collectors around the world. This isn't just pocket change, it's a silent goldmine hiding in plain sight. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you might just realize you've been sitting on a fortune your whole life. The origins of the 1973 Lincoln Penny. To understand the true value of the 1973 SMS Lincoln Penny, we have to rewind history just a bit. The Lincoln Penny was first introduced in 1909, commemorating the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking a long tradition of using symbolic figures like Lady Liberty. The known rare errors. Let's break down the rarest and most valuable 1973 SMS error Lincoln pennies ever discovered. Double-struck proof on copper, $15,000 plus. These errors are extremely rare, especially on proof coins, and especially in such pristine condition. One specimen was graded by PCGS as proof 67RD, and sold for over $15,000 at auction. Wrong planchet strike, $45,000 plus. One known example, struck on a Philippine 1 centimo planchet, was auctioned for $45,600. It wasn't even in perfect condition. Imagine what a near-mint version would fetch. OFF center strike with full date, $9,000 plus. Only a handful are known to exist, and a sharply struck off-center example was purchased privately for over $9,000. Struck through foreign object, $3,500 plus. These are known as struck-through errors, and one high-grade example sold for $3,500. The legendary missing clad layer, if one exists, $100,000 plus hypothetical value. This would be a coin that could easily top $100,000, maybe even more. Record-breaking sales. While the 1973 SMS penny isn't typically listed among the highest value coins, error coins from this year and mint are so rare that auction prices can skyrocket with the right buyer. In recent auctions, high-grade proof errors and off-metal strikes from the San Francisco Mint have routinely sold between $5,000 and $50,000, depending on condition and rarity. One collector even offered a private bounty of $75,000 for a flawless off-metal 1973 SMS penny. That's the level of demand we're talking about here. Imagine flipping a penny into a down payment on a house, or buying a luxury car with change from your drawer. You're sifting through your spare change, and there it is, a 1972 SMS Lincoln Penny. Looks normal, until you take a closer look. Then, boom! You realize this isn't just any coin. It's a 1972 SMS double die obverse Lincoln cent, and in top condition, it can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Some are even rumored to be worth over $50,000. Yes, really. The year was 1972. Richard Nixon was in the White House, the Vietnam War was dominating headlines, and inflation was creeping up. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents, over $5.5 billion from the Philadelphia Mint, and over $376 million from the San Francisco Mint. What makes the 1972 SMS penny stand out is not its mintage or design, those remained unchanged, but the remarkable, unexpected doubling found on some proof strikes from the San Francisco Mint. These proof errors slipped through quality control and became legendary among collectors. The 1972 SMS double die obverse, a rare proof gem. The 1972 SMS double die obverse, DDO, penny is one of the most dramatic and valuable proof errors in U.S. coinage. Value range. PR64 examples, $700 to $1,500. PR65-66 red cameo, $2,000 to $5,000. Deep cameo, DCAM, PR67 plus examples, up to $12,000 or more. Collectors are always chasing high-grade, deeply mirrored specimens of this rare proof error. Other 1972 SMS mint errors, not just doubling. Beyond the famous DDO, other mint errors from the San Francisco Mint in 1972 have gained popularity and value. Off-center strikes, rare for proof coins, but a few exist. Values range from $500 to $2,000 plus depending on severity and completeness of strike. Clipped planchets, coins with visibly missing curved or straight edges, caused when the planchet was miscut. A 1972 SMS clipped proof cent can bring $250 to $800 plus. Die caps and strike-throughs, these rare proof mishaps can command $1,000 to $3,500 plus, especially if dramatic. Because proof coins are so carefully handled, these kinds of errors are ultra-rare, and ultra-valuable. Shocking auction sales, real money made. Here are some real auction records for the 1972 S-Proof Double Die. 1972 SDDO PR66 RD Cameo, sold for $3,840 at Heritage Auctions. 1972 SDDO PR67 DCAM, brought an astounding $8,519. Raw ungraded coin discovered in a proof set, sold for $1,200 on eBay. These sales show just how serious the market is for high-quality examples. Imagine stumbling upon a penny so rare, so wildly valuable, that it sends shockwaves through the numismatic world, yet it's been hiding in plain sight for decades. You're sifting through your spare change, and there it is, a 1972 Lincoln Penny. Looks normal, until you take a closer look. Then, boom, you realize this isn't just any coin. It's a 1972 double die obverse Lincoln cent, and in top condition, it can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Some are even rumored to be worth over $50,000. The year was 1972. Richard Nixon was in the White House. The Vietnam War was dominating headlines, and inflation was creeping up. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents, over $5.5 billion from the Philadelphia Mint alone. This year marked no major change in coin design, but what makes the 1972 penny so fascinating is a monumental minting mistake, one that slipped through quality control and led to one of the most famous double die errors in U.S. coin history. The double die obverse, DDO, the star of the show. The 1972 double die obverse, DDO, values. Circulated examples sell for $300 to $1,500. Mint State, MS 65RD, examples have sold for $6,000 to $9,000. Top graded examples in MS 67RD, they've fetched over $14,000 at auction. Common varieties, $20 to $100. Higher grade examples, $300 or more. Struck OFF center and other mint errors, bonus value. 1972 Lincoln cents also include some thrilling non-DDO errors. Off-center strikes, the more extreme the off-center, the higher the value. A 1972 cent 70% off-center can be worth $200 to $500. Broad strikes, when the retaining collar fails during striking, the coin spreads outwards. These fetch $50 to $150, depending on condition. Clipped planchets, part of the coin is missing due to a faulty planchet. Values range from $30 to $100 plus. Struck on wrong planchet, if a 1972 cent was struck on a dime planchet or foreign coin, values can skyrocket into the thousands. These additional errors are less common than the DDO but can bring serious cash when certified. Shocking auction sales, big money moves. Here are some real-world auction examples that prove the 1972 DDO's market power. PCG SMS 65RD 1972 DDO 001, sold for $8,812. PCG SMS 67RD, realized a mind-blowing $14,400 at Heritage Auctions. Circulated XF45 example, still brought in $500 plus. Collectors go wild for well-struck examples with brilliant red luster. The value gap between grades is enormous, each notch can mean thousands. A 1971 Lincoln Penny, with an S mint mark. You flip it, squint, and suddenly, there's a glint of something different. What if I told you that some 1971 S Lincoln cents contain errors so rare, they've sold for thousands, and in exceptional cases, may be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Yes, we're talking about the little-known 1971 S Lincoln Penny errors, a series of rare mistakes that have stunned collectors, driven massive auction prices, and are still being discovered today. The double die obverse, DDO, a hidden masterpiece. Among the most exciting errors from the 1971 S Lincoln Penny is the double die obverse, a classic and highly sought-after error where parts of the design appear duplicated. Value. A verified 1971 S DDO in proof 65 condition sold for over $1,800. Higher graded examples, especially in cameo or deep cameo, have exceeded $3,000 to $5,000, depending on eye appeal and strike quality. Collectors prize this coin not just for its rarity, but because it's a beautiful, dramatic error that can be spotted without magnification. The repunched mint mark, RPM, a collector favorite. Value. Depending on the severity and clarity, 1971 S RPMs have sold for $50 to $300. Rare and dramatic RPMs in pristine condition have fetched over $500 at auction. While not as dramatic as a double die, RPMs still draw attention and can significantly increase value, especially when combined with high-grade surfaces, OFF metal strikes, the big money error. Now here's where things get really exciting. A few rare 1971 SMS Lincoln pennies were struck on off-metal planchets, meaning the coin wasn't made with the standard copper alloy. Auction values. A 1971 SMS penny struck on a 10C dime planchet sold for $9,775. Other off-metal errors have hit $15,000 plus at major auctions. These are extremely rare but incredibly valuable. Some of the most profitable Lincoln cent errors ever discovered. Real auction sales, shocking prices. Let's take a look at some of the most incredible auction results for 1971 SMS penny errors. 1971 SMS DDO Proof 65 CAM, sold for $3,120 at Heritage Auctions. 1971 SMS DDO Proof 66 RD DCAM, estimated at $5,000 to $7,500. 1971 SMS penny on a dime planchet, fetched a jaw-dropping $9,775. High-grade RPMs, sold for $300 to $500, depending on sharpness. Clearly, these aren't just pennies, they're tiny treasures that can bring in life-changing payouts. One of the rarest pennies in U.S. history could be hiding in your collection, and today, we're diving deep into the legendary 1969 SMS Lincoln cent double-die obverse error coin. This isn't just a penny, it's a lottery ticket in disguise. Stick with us to the end, because we're breaking down everything from the jaw-dropping history to the mind-blowing values, key diagnostics, shocking auction sales, the discovery that shocked the world. The first known discovery of the 1969 SMS double-die Lincoln cent came in the early 1970s. At first, collectors were skeptical. Was it a fake? A manipulation? A mint anomaly? But as more examples surfaced, fewer than 100 ever confirmed, experts authenticated the error as a true double die created during the hubbing process. During that era, dies were hand-prepared, and multiple impressions were required. If the hub shifted slightly between impressions, it created a doubled image on the die itself. Any coin struck with that die would carry that same error. What really catapulted this coin into the spotlight was a surge in high-dollar auctions. Some examples fetched tens of thousands of dollars, then hundreds of thousands. Eventually, a pristine specimen would go on to sell for over $500,000. And rumors abound that the rarest and cleanest known examples could top the $1 million mark. What makes the 1969 SMS double die so valuable? Several key factors contribute to the staggering value of the 1969 SMS double die obverse Lincoln cent. Rarity. Fewer than 100 confirmed specimens exist, and some experts believe the number is closer to 50. That puts it on par with some of the rarest coins in U.S. history. Striking error. The doubling is dramatic, bold, and easily visible without magnification. This is what collectors dream of finding. Historical significance. As a 1960s coin with a major mint error, it holds historical weight. It's a time capsule of a moment when technology and human craftsmanship overlapped. Condition. Like all coins, condition is key. A 1969 SMS DDO in mint state, MS65 or higher, can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars. The finest known example graded MS64 RD, red, by PCGS sold for $126,500 in 2008. Another specimen in better condition is estimated to be worth over $500,000, and experts say one could break the $1 million mark at auction. Record-breaking sales and auctions. Here's where the excitement reaches its peak. These coins have exploded at auctions. MS64 RD example sold for $126,500 at Heritage Auctions. 58 Australian dollars example went for $54,625. A lesser grade coin, XF45, sold for $24,000, proving that even well-circulated examples command top dollar. And the $1 million dream? According to professional numismatists, a pristine MS66 Plus RD could easily break into the $1 million range. All it takes is one high-end collector to make history.